I cared for the person, but when things got tough and it's time to work through stuff, I wasn't willing to work.
I care for the individual yet when things got extreme, and now is the right time to manage stuff. I wasn't willing to deal with it. Oh dear, seems as though Jennifer Hudson shares began seeing those warnings, practically speaking, and is supposedly excessively frightened to get hitched to him. He may be the kind of individual that never truly settles with someone. Perhaps he resembles a you realize he resembles a honeybee going from one blossom to another to bloom so clearly. J. Hot. Vel and Normal have been going constant since they authoritatively opened up to the world about their relationship. I'm a host, thus I need to pose you this inquiry cause everyone generally need to realize this. Are you dating? Applause anybody? So yes, and I'm seeing someone is perhaps of the most gorgeous individual I at any point met throughout everyday life, and she's shrewd, she cherishes God, she has something genuine, sensible about her. She's skilled, yet I set my standards sort of high. Cause she needed to have an EGOT, she needed to win an Oscar on her most memorable film. I said my standard house, she needed to get her own television show. Gracious. Okay, yet decisions near J. Hud are currently uncovering that she doesn't see herself getting hitched to remark at any point in the near future. Most importantly, you all clearly Jennifer was unyielding. She could never wed after her poisonous relationship with David Unga, and she supposedly still accepts that marriage isn't in that front aim of mind for her. She is supposedly terrified to commit and promise to not wed anybody or race into a hurried relationship after the one with David. Now, first off, I would comprehend the reason why her previous relationship with David would make J. Hud a piece wary. C. J. Hud and David met at some point in mid-2008, then begun dating, and it didn't take long for David to go down on one knee on September 12, 2008, which incidentally turned out to be Jennifer's 27th birthday celebration. David proposed to her. Yet one thing about the relationship is that they were locked in for right around 10 years. Okay, so the last 1 year here you were locked in, and it has been all the way in which long? All of you been together 9 years, something to that effect. Oh, definitely, no doubt, near. So no hurry to get hitched. You're in no hurry. I'm not in the hurry, better believe it. Who cares? Going no place, better believe it, honey. That relationship took another dreadful turn when David clearly found that might have been undermining him, and he blamed Jennifer for doing as such with music maker Molly Music. J. Hud never affirmed whether she had a hurl with the maker. However, things just got nastier from that point, and she discussed it in a defensive request against David, saying that since David was desirous, he called her multiple times while she was at a keep meeting in Chicago. And when he was unable to contact her, she guaranteed he had their child attempted to film her for him to demonstrate. She was sincerely associated with Molly Music in the defensive request, where she focused on the supposed undertaking. Jennifer additionally claimed that David had progressively forceful, compromising, and bugging conduct towards her and their child, like she in a real sense, that I trust that assuming David is pulled out, he will truly hurt me, constantly bug or potentially make a move against my property or try to sequester my child. David Jar. She additionally expressed that on the night when David reportedly advised their child to record her with Molly Music, David snatched their child in one hand and afterward with the other purportedly pushed her out of the restroom inside their main room. Other than that, J. Hud and David were additionally engaged with a dreadful guardianship fight with Jennifer blaming David for grabbing their child. She guaranteed that David removed their child from school, and she possibly learned about it when a security application utilized by the school made her aware of Eyes exit. As though that wasn't enough, Jennifer basically blamed David for attempting to freeload off her prosperity during their relationship and requested that he ought to find a new line of work. Well, there was somewhat of a volatile there, with David saying that J. Hud was lying, and in light of the fact that she had more impact in the business, he was getting the majority of the intensity. He even said he had been their kids' essential guardian since birth, in light of the fact that Jennifer was out and about a ton, fundamentally going against her case in the legitimate harbors that she was the essential parental figure. Furthermore, he likewise said that Jennifer was the person who constrained him to pick his family over his work, and afterward began whining that he was freelooting. So on the grounds that Jen had additionally blamed David for a few serious charges, the police opened an examination concerning the claims, and he was cleared a couple of months after the fact, and Jennifer deliberately Ailey dropped her request for assurance against David, relying on the prerequisite that he vowed to always avoid her property. Shit has never been truly clear what truly occurred between the two, cuz the two of them were calling each other liars. Yet most importantly, it was harmful, and this is the thing the source was alluding to when they said that Judd is careful not to get into another poisonous relationship. But rather, there's another justification for why J. Hud is evidently not going to acknowledge Normal's proposition at any point in the near future. The source uncovered that despite the fact that Normal came into her life and deeply inspired her, J. Hud is stressed over Normal's past with such countless renowned ladies and is pulling a West choice child. Let me take you through the connections so you comprehend where J. Hud is coming from. I mean, she ought to have realized this going in, yet allowed me just to break it down momentarily. Our fellow Normal was in his most memorable public relationship with Kim Jones, and they even had a little girl together, yet they split when their little girl was only a year old. Then, from 2000 to 2002, Normal was involved with Erykah Badu, and they even teamed up on certain tunes. In 2005, Normal dated Taraji P. Henson, and these two kept their relationship to a great extent hidden for Taji. Normal was one of the realest long-haul connections she'd at any point had, and assuming it ultimately depended on her, they would have even got hitched. Normal was the keep-going, truly long-haul relationship I had after that. I was as out need cuz my child was miserable. He was miserable when we separated. It impacted him clearly. Out of the multitude of ladies, commentated Taji was his mother's one, yet perhaps that changed in light of the fact that Taji was only the third out of a few others. Clearly the mother had not yet met the other astounding ladies Normal dated, like Serena Williams. Well, in 2010 the two split up, and in view of ours, Serena was the person who started the split, and years after the fact Normal said that he actually had love and regard for her. We got an extraordinary comprehension, and I care about her as an individual, dislike each individual you converse with each and every other day, yet you realize you actually have that regard, and you have love for themselves and need to see them in all actuality do well. After the astonishing Serena Williams, Normal likewise dated Angela Rye, yet they separated, reunited, and separated again before continued on toward Tiffany Abaddon. Very much like with Taraji. As per Tiffany, the relationship she had with Normal was undoubtedly the best she had at any point had, and she even said that assuming that Normal at any point proposed, she'd maintain that he should do as such. With an apartment complex, there were additionally different ladies who Normal purportedly likewise dated, like Ava Duver, Puma Wright, and even Chadwick Boseman's widow, Simone. Presently, let me now, if you were J. Hud, wouldn't you likewise be frightened to settle down with someone like this? Someone with obvious responsibility gives. Well, the source additionally said that Normal has had a go at consoling Jen, that he's in it for the long run, yet Jen is as yet resolute, saying familiar tell Jen, in spite of his past with such countless popular ladies, he's in the relationship permanently. Yet Jen felt as such when she was locked in for quite a long time, and she would rather not end up with a crushed marriage and be spirit at the starting point. You realize perhaps Normal is truly prepared to settle down for genuine this time, cuz wasn't he the person who said only a few days ago that after soul looking and a ton of treatment he understood that he may really be the marriage type? Are you the wedding type? How about that this one be the one we're going there? I like that. Since you're different, you just said it like I'm an alternate person presently. Listen, I feel like I have developed, and the work that I've done on myself has permitted me to see that I am a wedding type. I'm the sort that I'm competent. I had a limit, and eventually in my life I might believe should do that. Just I would know when the ideal opportunity is, and I think for me everything is heavenly. Like I work from that wisdom that God talks, when he talks into your stomach and you feeling in your heart and your soul. So when I would feel that I would speak with that individual, and on the off chance that she's inclination, that why not up to this point that is not sufficient for J. Hud, but rather perhaps she could re-examine. Yet the thing individuals are pondering is the thing J. Hud was thinking when she found herself mixed up with that relationship, knowing very well the sort of individual she was engaging with. I mean, why get into the relationship knowing very well there will be questions about settling down, and presently you need to leave young lady by a I don't realize folks individuals are likewise giving Judd the side eye yet. Let me in on your thought process. Do you believe it's acceptable for her to have questions right currently subsequent to understanding what she was getting into from the outset? Do you accept there's plausible normal hat? Changed, and Jay had ought to consider letting him drop those contemplations in the remarks segment underneath.